Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson video where today we're talking about recursive formulas. So first of all, a recursive formula tells you to find the nth term of a sequence by performing operations to the previous term. So a recursive formula is really funny. You're given three parts to the formula, something that we haven't really seen before ever yet. There's three parts to the formula. The first part is that you're told what a sub 1 is. Now remember, a sub 1 means the first term in the sequence. So in a recursive formula, you're told what the first term of the sequence is. So here the first term of my sequence is 5. You're then given an expression that starts with, a formula that starts with a sub n. And remember, n always stands for what term of the sequence you're trying to solve for. So the way you find a specific term of a sequence would be, let's say to do 2 times, look in the parentheses, a sub n minus 1. Now, when you see a sub n minus 1, that's referring to the previous term. So think about it. If n is 2, if I wanted to find the second term of the sequence, I would say a sub 2 equals 2 times, and then I'd have to plug in a 2 here for n. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1. So this would be saying to find the second term, do 2 times a sub 1, and a sub 1 is just the first term in the sequence. But then think about what it means to find the third term in the sequence. If I plug in a 3 for n, 3 minus 1 is 2. And so that's really going to say a sub 2. And so what this would be is do 2 times the previous term of a sub 2. And then, of course, there's a little plus 1 at the end. So if I give you a starting number, I would tell you then to take that starting number, that first term, plug it into the formula to find your second term. And then your second term in your sequence actually gets plugged in back into the equation to find the third. It's like you just need the next term in order to calculate going forward. We're not adding by 5s and that's done. We're not just multiplying by 3. Sometimes recursive formulas could look like that, but usually there's a lot more going on to it. And then the third part of our recursive formula is stating that we're looking for n being greater than or equal to 2, which may look like, what does this even mean? But think about it. If n is greater than or equal to 2, the smallest value of n is 2, and n stands for the terms in the sequence. So if a sub 1 is the first term in the sequence, and I'm saying to you, we're solving for all values where n is greater than or equal to 2, then that means we're finding the second term, the third term, the fourth term, the fifth term, anything that's greater than or equal to 2. So let's take a look at two really basic recursive formulas. So the first, where's a good spot for me here? I'll just stay here. Okay, so find the first 5 terms of the sequence. A sub 1 equals 6. A sub n equals 2 times a sub n minus 1. And I highlighted the a sub n minus 1 because that entire little expression means the previous term. And n is greater than or equal to 2. So first off, I'm told what a sub 1 is. A sub 1 is 6. But now what I have to do is to find the next term in the sequence, I have to do 2 times whatever that previous term is. So where you see this entire highlighted yellow, that's where I plug in my 6. And so then 2 times 6 is 12. And then to find the third term in the sequence, I'm going to do 2 times 12 and get 24. To find the fourth term, I'm going to go ahead and plug in that 24. You get the point, I think, and I get 48 as my result. And then I plug in my 48 and I get 96. So the first 5 terms of the sequence would be 6, 12, 24, 48, and 96. Really basic recursive formula. But now the second one here says find the first 5 terms of the sequence where a sub 1 is 7. So my first term in my sequence is 7. And then it's saying to find the next term in the sequence or the nth term in the sequence, we're going to do 3 times whatever the previous term is and then subtract 5. So 3 times the previous term, subtract 5. So if my first term is 7, then to find the second term would be 3 times 7, and then I have to subtract 5. So 3 times 7 is 21, minus 5 is 16. Then to find the next term in the sequence, I take that 16 and I substitute it in for my value here. So 3 times 16 is 48. 48 minus 5 is 43. Then I need to do 3 times 43. and then subtract that by 5, and I get 124. And then 3 times 124 minus 5, and I get 367. And so what you see happening here is that your first term gets substituted in for a sub n minus 1. We figure out that value, and then the new value of the term keeps getting substituted in. Now you got to be really, really careful, because imagine you mess up the second term and the rest of your terms are all messed up. It's like having one domino fall, the rest are all going to fall. You can't go back. So you really just need to make sure that your mathematical facts are down and that you are following the pattern in the best way. And you go back, of course, and check your work. So now I need to show you the difference between what a recursive formula looks like, how you write it, based on if it's an arithmetic sequence, which, remember, an arithmetic sequence means that you are always adding by the same amount or decreasing by the same amount using addition or subtraction. And then geometric is always you have a common multiplier R, that common ratio. So if I gave you a sequence and I said to you, hey, I want you to write the recursive formula for this sequence, -3, 2, 7, 12. We clearly see this is definitely an arithmetic sequence because the values are increasing by 5. But remember, when you write a recursive formula, there's 3 parts, and you have to make sure you write all 3 parts. So the first part you would say is a sub 1 is equal to -3. You always tell the reader what the first term of the sequence is. Then you would tell the reader how you get to the next term in the sequence. So to go from a -3 to a 2, we see we're adding by 5. So to get the next term in the sequence, or the nth term in the sequence, you would have to take whatever the previous term is, a sub n minus 1, and then add 5 to it. So if I wanted to find the second term, that would mean I'd have to take the previous term and add 5. If I want to find the third term, I would have to take the second term and add by 5, and so on. And n is always going to be greater than or equal to 2. So spoiler alert, you're always going to get that part right. A geometric sequence is when we have a sequence of numbers and the values are always multiplying by that common ratio. So here, 0.5, 1, 2, 4, I see it's multiplying by 2. I still have to write out my 3 steps for the entire formula. So a sub 1 is 0.5. That's always just whatever your first term is. And now notice what the geometric sequence looks like. It's the previous term multiplied by the common ratio. So I can write this as a sub n minus 1 times 2. Now, sometimes you'll see it reversed. I'm just going to fill it in. So that's an appropriate way to write it. You can also, of course, reverse it and say it's 2 times a sub n minus 1. And you may see either function, but they, of course, mean the same thing. And then n is always greater than or equal to 2. So we're going to take a look at these sequences here, and we're going to go ahead and write the recursive formula. And remember, the recursive formula needs 3 parts. So first step is always super easy. It's just classifying what a sub 1 is, the first term in the sequence. Then you have to look and see what's happening in the sequence. Well, this sequence I see is decreasing by 6, so I know it's arithmetic. So if I'm following the arithmetic sequence formula, it would be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, and then minus 6. So you have to determine, is it arithmetic or geometric, like what's happening in the sequence, and then use that to basically set it up. And then n is always greater than or equal to 2. -8, -3, 2, 7. I see this is definitely arithmetic. It's increasing by 5s. So first off, my a sub 1 is -8. It's arithmetic, so I'm going to use my first formula. So this would be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 5. And always n is greater than or equal to 2. 5, 15, 45, 135. This is definitely geometric. I see it's multiplying by 3. Now, a sub 1 is always still the first step, so a sub 1 is 5. And now I need to follow the geometric form. So it would be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times 3. And again, another way to write this, actually a little nicer way to write it, is to put the 3 in front. And so it's 3 times a sub n minus 1. And then always n is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, 243, 81, 27, 9. So we might look at this and say, hey, I think the numbers are dividing by 3. But remember, dividing by 3 means to multiply by 1/2. So my a sub 1 is 243. It's definitely geometric. So it's a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times 1/3. Or again, I can rewrite that as 1/3 a sub n minus 1. And then it always ends with n is greater than or equal to 2. -3, 14, 31, 48. I see the values are increasing by 17, so it's arithmetic. So this one would be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 17. Again, n is greater than or equal to 2. And our last one, 8, -20, 50, -125. Now, you probably would look at this and say, you know what, I really can't tell exactly what the common ratio is. I know I'm definitely not adding by the same amount, so it's got to be geometric. But remember, when you go to find a common ratio, you can take any term in the sequence and divide it by the previous term. So if I did -20 divided by 8, or if I did 50 divided by -20, I'm going to get that my common ratio here is -2.5. And again, I'm just going to rewrite this. You can also write it as -2.5 a sub n minus 1. I'm just sneaking it in. And then it's n is greater than or equal to 2. So I have a couple extra additional practice problems here that you could try out. So if you want to pause, I did build a chart here. So if you wanted to follow the same kind of model as the previous problems about finding the next 5 terms in the sequence, you can totally do that. So if you want to pause right now and then press play to see if you got the answers right, that would be a great thing to do. So press pause, give yourself a shot. Okay, hopefully you're pressing play right now because you did press pause and you did try it out. But a sub 1 is -8. And then to find the next term in the sequence, you would do -2 times -8 and then add 5. Don't forget about the little plus 5 at the end. That's a common mistake. Students will forget to look to see if there's a number at the end. That gives me 21. Then I substitute in that 21, so -2 times 21 plus 5. And then -2 times -37 plus 5. And then -2 times 79 plus 5. And so these would be the 5 terms in that sequence. So hopefully if you did pause and then play, you definitely got those numbers. Now, if you didn't pause and play and you want to give yourself a shot for this next one, that would be something good to do. So here's my a sub n minus 1. So if you want to pause right now, it says a sub 1 is 3. And then a sub n is 2 times a sub n minus 1 minus 4. So I would pause now and then press play when you're ready. Okay, so now we're checking our answers. So a sub 1 is 3. Then it would be 2 times 3 minus 4 is 2. 2 times 2 minus 4 is 0. 2 times 0 minus 4 is -4. And 2 times -4 minus 4 is -12. And the last couple of problems, writing a recursive formula. So again, if you want to pause right now and then check your answer after. Remember, a recursive formula has 3 parts to it. Okay, so hopefully right now you are pressing play. If you didn't do it yet, press pause now. And then let's see how we did. So, okay, the first one. So this is definitely an arithmetic sequence. It's increasing by 6. And so this is what my formula would look like, the 3 parts. The second one is definitely multiplying by 4, so it's geometric. And that's what my answer would look like there. Of course, the 4 and the a sub n minus 1 can be reversed. And then the last one is definitely arithmetic. It's decreasing by 4. And that's what it would look like. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Bye.